Next, we will get into a very powerful, meaty section. We will begin to go through and dissect the different leadership theories. Some may resonate with you. Some you may feel that's not me, but you can take nuggets from each of these theories. The bosses that I've learned the most from over my 35-year corporate career are the ones that I didn't agree with their leadership philosophy. So it helped me build a foundation of what I didn't want to become as a leader, what I didn't want to do. So even as you hear some of these theories, learn and grow in what not to do as well. After my 8 years in the PhD program in leadership studies, I felt like I owed it to myself to go back and summarize in pictorial form the many leader and follower theories. And I did that when I passed my oral and written comps, but I think this is a good communication tool. I'm not going to go through these theories on this slide, but this page is just to familiarize you with the timeline of the theories that we will cover. I did a search of each of these theories, not on regular Google, but on Google Scholar, because I wanted to see the theories that were being researched the most. So this data is from 2020-ish, and so this will certainly change. This is not scientific research, but there was not a quantitative study I could find that helped me with this, so take it with a grain of salt. But the size of the ball on this chart identifies with the number of search results on Google Scholar for each of the theories. We will cover a good section on followership. You will see those on the bottom half. These are theories that tend to be more follower-centric, and on the top are leader-centric theories. The followership theories in general tended to value the employee or individual's contributions towards the organization's success and to value the involvement of their role. You might want to refer back to this as we go through the specific theories, just as a reminder of where each theory fits in the evolution of leadership theories in the timeline. The arrow is the actual timeline that brings you from almost 200 years ago to the present. And some of these theories don't fit neatly into a decade or time period. A lot of these are building on one another, and the research tends to do that anyways, is build on each other. So if you start at the left part of the continuum, that began in the late 1800s going through the 1920s. There was a great focus on what was called the great man theory. This was heroic leadership, and the continuum showed that there was a great emphasis on power and many different types of power. Obviously, power comes into play with all leadership styles, and we'll talk about that. Thomas Carlyle lectured on heroism in 1840. He said, "The history of the world is but the biography of great men." Some examples would be Napoleon, Mohammed, Shakespeare, Luther, Lincoln, Jesus Christ, George Washington, Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Catherine the Great, Gandhi, Joan of Arc. There are many. Aristocratic rulers that gained power by birthright. Power was central in that theory back in that time frame, though types of power are prevalent in all leadership theories and examples. People in positions of power deserved to lead because of position, bloodline, or characteristics gained at birth. That's what they believed in that time frame. They believed leaders were born, not made. Gifts from God, special gifts, special attributes that were given. In the 30s and 40s, with trait and behavioral leadership approaches, leaders were known for their innate qualities, for behaviors, for intelligence, for charisma, for confidence. And some had heroic courage. Some had natural abilities, superior intellect. As we moved to the 50s, 60s, and 70s, there was less of an emphasis on innate traits, behaviors, though those were still important, but more of an emphasis on utilizing a team or group leadership approach, more interaction, relationships, goals, motives, etc. And then in the 80s, we talked about Burns and Bass with transformational leadership. That's when charisma and meeting the needs of followers and inspirational change took hold in the 80s. So over this half century, you see a shift from leader-centric to follower-centric. And though influence is often derived from positions of power, influence also can be used with the follower, with your teams. And so the shift in 90s took on more of an introspective look again, with authenticity, the leaders being real, spiritual values, being flexible, being adaptive, serving others, servant leadership, and values-based leadership like ethics, etc.